Okay, it's still Wednesday, September 18th. If you looked at the prior video at the northern station, when I turned off the video camera, Officer Fulano, who was the initial officer from the northern station on 8/15/12 for the criminal fraud that was perpetrated on me by the Department of Public Health. He was the officer there for civil standby who did not perform, and of course naturally you saw the rigged methodology of reporting it to the OCC, which of course never allowed for an interview. You also heard while I was at the northern station that they would be sending somebody out to help me. Well, what you don't know is that they sent somebody out to help me and illegally 5150 me. The Officer Fulano drove me to San Francisco General. I believe that I got here at 10:10 and I was released by 12 because I of course naturally stated the truth about how it was all wrong and incorrect, and how it was a setup, and how this was very similar to what happened to the false arrest during my Impala case during the deposition in 2003, which of course nobody to this day has accounted for. I told the doctor that it was bullying, it was intimidation, it was everything else. She had made the comment that the officer had said that I was making comments about hurting myself, and I said, well, that's really wonderful because I want that noted, because I have the audio tapes which prove that I never said any of those things, that day that I was there. It was merely, any reason under the sun, which of course is incorrect, but since they're unaccountable, they don't have to worry about it. The other proof of the pudding is that I was released after 2 hours without any incident, without any problem, because they realized that I was telling the truth about the corrupt system. I pointed them to my own private Guantanamo to show them the confession from the denials of emergency services before. I spoke to them in regard to my doctor, Mitchell Katz, having abandoned me years ago. They, were quite taken back by the fact that the only records they could find for me were 12 years ago, here. I said, well, this is where it all started, and this is pretty much where it's going to end. Unfortunately, when I asked them what they're going to do about this bogus 5150 and report it to the police and everything, I was told that that's not their job, that's not your jurisdiction. So I once again asked the doctor, I believe her name was, I want to say Richner, that if this is the case, that if they can lie and there is no accountability for their lies and everything, how are they helping people, and how is the doctors helping people to do no harm if they realize that this is the game that's being perpetrated among these people? Of course, that I was never answered to. The point remains the same. Interestingly enough, on the ride down from Northern Station down to San Francisco General by Mr. Wonderful Officer Fulano, I was told quite a few things in the car. A, that the police always win. B, that if I come back, they'll just have me 5150'd again. What is the consequence of them doing something wrong, lying, etc.? It's what it's been all along, and what you've watched on the tube, on the YouTube videos. The inhumanity, the game playing, everyone knows what's going on. Nobody's willing to stand up for what's right because it affects their paycheck. It just continues the gross inhumanity. The thing that is really of dire consequence is that at this point, mind you, I cannot get any help from the Department of Public Health, but as has been obvious, I can get it from another health clinic, which, willy-nilly does not break the law as the Department of Public Health does. When you go back and you try to have them arrested, as I was told by Officer Fulano on the way down, the police don't arrest for medical law violations. When I asked who does, he said the city attorney. I said, oh, that's very interesting that the city attorney can legally arrest. I've never seen a city attorney pull out a pair of handcuffs and arrest anyone. I did look at the officer and I said, that was a wonderful spin and evasion. And of course, all he could do was smile. When you're being paid to be corrupt, immoral, and everything else that I'm being subjected to I don't really believe that it matters that much. So I'm just not really sure. Is this the 33?
That's the 33.
Okay, I'm going to get on that one. Anyway, I just wanted to let you know what's been going on for the last 2 hours. It wasn't from me not looking for what I needed. It was a simple fact that the police and everyone else can break the law with impunity, and I have to somehow be responsible or accountable for it. Unfortunately, this will not work, and I will continue to prove just how